Hello, I'm Robin. Welcome to Bookspin. I've finally finished reading Pandora's Star by Peter F. Hamilton, published in 2004. Now, this is the copy that I read. It's a first edition hardback. Now, the dust jacket has got pretty battered through constant use recently. But on the plus side, this is a personally signed copy, so it's something that I'm very pleased to have in my collection. And this mighty tome here is the first half of an epic space opera duology known as the Commonwealth Saga. So yeah, I'm glad that I finally invested the time to read this, because despite its unwieldy length, it's actually a very rich and engaging read that really rewards the patience of the reader. It's not perfect, but what it offers is an enjoyable and immersive sci-fi reading experience on a massive scale. So there's plenty of stuff to enjoy as a science fiction reader. Fascinating, futuristic ideas, an intricately detailed plot, and epic planet-spanning world building. In fact, everything about this book is epic, right? It's set about 350 years into the future. Humanity has colonized space. We've spread throughout the galaxy. We've settled on hundreds of worlds across various star systems. It's a true interstellar federation, right? I mean, it's amazing that we've found so many habitable planets to colonize. They call these H-congruous planets, which basically means anywhere that's capable of supporting human life. Anyway, these human-settled worlds occupy a vast area of space, collectively known as the Intersolar Commonwealth, which are connected via a network of wormhole technology that has revolutionized space travel and made all of this expansion and travel across interstellar distances possible. Not just possible, but fast and convenient. It's pretty amazing, really. And this is just one of multiple aspects of future technology that have radically transformed human society. Some of the tech available to Commonwealth citizens is mind-boggling, especially in the realm of transhumanism, which is a central feature of their society. So, for example, rejuvenation technology allows people to periodically renew their youth every few decades, right? And thus, people can live for hundreds of years and achieve virtual immortality within the society. Even death itself is not really final, because after somebody dies, it's possible to recreate them in a new body and have their consciousness and memories transferred to live again in this new body, so long as they had memory cell inserts implanted in their original body in their previous life. So that's pretty amazing. What else is there? People have OC tattoos, organic circuitry tattoos, implanted into their bodies to give them direct neural access to the Unisphere, which is basically an advanced version of the internet. We've also got cellular reprofiling. This is another really interesting technology. If for some reason you want to change the way you look, cellular reprofiling allows you to give you a complete facial makeover. So all of this is really fascinating stuff. This is the world in which this story takes place, and it's a very intriguing backdrop for the story. And the story itself is in fact extremely intricate, with numerous plot threads and a plethora of characters to follow. It's not always clear how these threads are connected, especially early on in the book, but they do all become interwoven in the end and lead up to a very exciting climax. There is way too much for me to summarize here, but basically, early on in the book, things start to kick off when a Commonwealth astronomer observes a star over 1,000 light years away, known as Dyson Alpha. So he observes this star, and what happens is it mysteriously vanishes out of existence. Okay. In fact, what has happened is the entire star system has been enclosed within a giant force field. This phenomenon is not an act of nature, but has been caused by someone or something, some extremely powerful agency. They did this. How and why? We don't know. Okay. But when the authorities become aware of this, they are very anxious to investigate what actually happened. Is that really a good idea? Who knows? It's a compelling mystery for sure. Now, the wormhole gateways that the Commonwealth use and link up all of the different planets in the Federation, they aren't actually capable of being extended that far out into space. So in order to reach Dyson Alpha, they decide to build the first ever starship, an FTL ship no less, and assemble a crew to go out there and investigate what happened to the star. Okay, and what they find out there and what follows on from this venture is a key impetus for driving the story forward. But the journey to Dyson Alpha is only one part of this story. There is a whole lot more going on besides, and lots of characters and lots of plot threads, as I said, which I won't go into here. And I think this is why this book is a book to get yourself lost in, to take your time with, and to enjoy the immersive reading experience. We follow a diverse range of characters across many different worlds. And we've got cosmic mystery and scientific discovery. We've got political intrigue. We've got police procedural. We've got military sci-fi, enigmatic alien races, and of course we've got all this futuristic transhumanist tech that makes this world so interesting, and plenty more besides. There is a lot to sink your teeth into in this book. So I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get started on the second book, Judas Unchained. I will say, though, that this is a very long read, and it does require a bit of patience and persistence to get through. Because there are so many characters and narrative threads, it takes a while to get invested in each storyline, and unless you're really paying attention, I found it can be, or sometimes it could be a little bit difficult keeping track of all of the characters. To start off with, anyway, it got a bit confusing. A character gets introduced early on, for example, then you meet other characters on other worlds, and they have their own stories. And by the time I next encounter that person's name again, 200 or 300 pages later, I've forgotten who they were or what they did, especially when they've been removed from their original surroundings. So it's a good idea to pay close attention to who's who and how they relate to each other when you're reading. I don't think this is in itself a major issue though, but I will say that it is a symptom of this book being as long and as complex and as epic as it is. As much as I enjoyed it on the whole, and that there are some really mind-bending and exciting moments in this book, there are some sections which are a bit more of a slog to get through, and not all of the characters are as interesting as each other. Did it really need to be this long? I don't know. Maybe it could have been told in a slightly shorter way, but this is only half of the story. So this book doesn't really work as a standalone. There is no neat ending to tie things up. It even says to be continued, or words to that effect on the last page. This is the second book, right? Judas Unchained. And collectively, these two books basically form one massive novel. So if you start reading Pandora's Star, you really need to read book 2 as well to complete the story. So if you start reading this, you're in for the long haul, basically. But the payoff is worth it, I think. My experience of reading Pandora's Star has been the more I read, the better it got, and the more immersed I became over time, and the more invested I became in the characters. So, I think if you love sprawling epics with intricate and complex world building, the kind of storytelling that is often appealing to fantasy readers, right? I think you would probably enjoy this. As it is, it did take me a few hundred pages before I got really invested in the story. But by the time I got to the end of this book, I was totally gripped. So, with that in mind, I give Pandora's Star 4 stars. If Hamilton keeps this up in book 2, and hopefully he does, there is a good chance that I'll rate Judas Unchained even higher. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.